We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. So what does all this mean when it comes to leadership perspective? Well, to me, this quote reminds me that I may not be seeing the whole picture around me, that perhaps I have the blinders on and I'm seeing the world through my particular lens, not exactly the way it may be happening in front of me. It reminds me that I need to take those blinders off to kind of look around and see things that I didn't see before. Because if we don't, it makes us assume things that may not be true. And you know what assume stands for. Okay, I digress a little bit there, but let's say it this way. The way we see things is actually how we are. Take the example of the cup half full or the cup half empty. How do you see your world? Do you tend to look for the negative in things, what's gone wrong? Or are you someone who tends to say the bright side of things? What can I actually learn from this situation? I'm already on page 2. Are you playing the victim? Or do you believe that you control your experiences in life and you make the best of what you have? You see, what you believe actually shapes your world. It shapes the lens that you see things, your experiences, the environment, the people that you're with. All of this influences the decisions that you make in life and ultimately the life that you live. But how does this relate to leadership? Let's take the example of hiring a brand new person. Now, don't deny it. We always like to hire people that are like us. Why? Because we feel comfortable. They talk like we do. They give the examples that we love. They just feel right. But we know that the best practice is actually to hire people different from you with different perspectives, different personalities. How many of us really do that? Or what about an employee who isn't performing up to standard? How quickly do we jump to conclusions? What's wrong with this person? Why are they not doing their job? We make assumptions about what could be happening in their world instead of slowing down, asking questions, trying to figure out what's actually standing in their way, and maybe, just maybe, what we might be doing to influence their lack of performance. In our classes, what we do is we get the students to look at some optical illusions to make them look a little deeper. And it's always interesting to me to see the different answers that come from what do you see in this picture? You see, everyone will see something different. What happens though is we tend to stick with that first thing we saw. And until I push a little harder and say, no, look deeper. What else do you see? Only then do people open up and see the other possibilities. Okay. You see, then we move on to questioning, how does this actually apply to work? It shows us how quickly we can jump to conclusions that we actually see the whole picture, even in our workplace. We make judgments, we make decisions about people's behaviors and why they might be behaving a certain way, or why they're doing or not doing what we're asking them to do. This is a regular case in the workplace. You see, it's not possible for us to always see the whole picture if we don't slow down long enough to give our mind time to catch up. Because of our backgrounds, our upbringing, the experiences that we've had to date, or the situations we're currently in, it can all sway us to see the world a certain way. You see, awesome leaders actually question this every step of the way. They decide how they're going to respond and how much of that picture they actually need to see to get the right outcome. They also understand the impact of their actions and decisions on the team around them and their organization. Leaders know they're responsible for the results, even the results of their team. And so if their team is not performing well, they have to ask themselves, what do I need to do better? What roadblocks should I be getting rid of? What support should I be providing? And especially during challenging times, leaders question the thinking in their own mind to say, maybe I'm being biased at this particular time. I need to stop and slow down. I need to ask more questions. I need to gather more facts before I make a decision. Instead of just relying on their instincts, they actually reach out to find different alternatives, different perspectives so that they can see that whole picture. They know that they don't always see what's in front of them. And by questioning themselves, they actually start to widen their leadership perspective. And naturally, they can see more than the rest of us. Great leaders do not assume they're right. they know that a lot of the times their mind will make them wrong. So regardless of your position in the organization, here's the question I want you to ask yourself. What am I not seeing today? When you're asking that, you're simply widening what your mind is able to see and pondering what is the true picture here today, regardless of my leadership position.
Regardless of your leadership position,
you need to ask yourself, do I need to step out of myself today and put myself in someone else's shoes? Do I need to widen my perspective and to question myself? Here's the question I think you need to ask. What am I not seeing today?